Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is. Welcome back. 300 Rules How Not to Be a Dumbass. I am your host, DarthHideous, in a meditative state. How's everybody doing this morning? Hope everyone had a wonderful week. I went back to doing what I do for a real life this week, and all in all, went better than I could have hoped, so can't be mad at it. Anyone else have any interesting reports on the week? Go ahead and let us know in the chat. Hello, Cat Ninja. I see that Vicky was actually here hours ago. What a homie, right? What a homie. So, there is life outside of here, Fish Nerd. Good morning / afternoon to you. There is actually life outside of here for most people, I would expect. It just hasn't been for me lately. Anyway, we're back at it. Hey, Cat Ninja from Rumble. Is there anybody over there? I didn't see anybody. Shout out to the people who are over there. So, The Art of Worldly Wisdom. Balthasar Gracian's 300 Rules How Not to Have the Dumb. And, we're 100 of these rules through now. In this 7th installment, we'll see where we get to today, but there's like a couple of general themes, you know? Don't be born stupid. Don't be born lazy. Don't be stupid or lazy. Don't make terrible decisions. Use your thinking meat for something more than keeping your skull from caving in. They all seem to be reasonable suppositions, prepositions. But they're good to think about. I've become more of a fan of it since I decided that it's not nearly as serious as one would expect. There's actually quite a bit of humor in the concepts here within. That one got me on the back end. So, shall we start at 101? Because I thought this was like, I just kind of giggled at it. One half of the world laughs at the other, and fools they all are. And I don't know if anybody watched the State of the Union address. I believe it was it's Thursday night. It's not last night. I was gonna do a recap, my opinions on it, but then I was just like, no, 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 no. Taking off. Well, yep. See, that's that real life thing, you know. Got to go make the donuts. Take care, Fish Nerd, and in and out, in ya and out, though. Have a good one, my dear. Good to see you. Glad you're listening. But yeah, this kind of sorry about that, y'all. It's Saturday morning and things going on around me, so Anyway, where was I? We was in the middle of the world laughing at itself. One half of the world laughing at the other, and fools they all are. Everything is good or everything is bad according to the votes they gain. Ah ha ha. Isn't that something? What one pursues, another persecutes. He is an insufferable ass that would regulate everything according to his ideas. My oh my. Excellences do not depend on a single man's pleasure. So many men, so many tastes, all different. Oh my goodness. Anyway, uh, this is ridiculous. One moment, y'all. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh my goodness. People just had to choose right now to like just start doing everything. Nobody was doing anything 20 minutes ago. Uh, fuck's sake. Ah, there is no defect which is not affected by some, nor need we lose heart if things please not some. I can relate right now, seriously, for others will appreciate them. Nor need their applause turn our head, for there will surely be others to condemn. The real test of praise is the approbation of famous men and of experts in the matter. You should aim to be independent of any one vote, of any one fashion, of any one century. And that's kind of uh, really key to the aim of not following just trends or not trying to impose your will upon everyone, especially when they largely disagree with you. And I'm thinking there's a certain set of current world leaders that they could learn a thing or two about that. I mean, because uh, when you've got an approval rating of 16%, lowest ever in Congress, and yet the same people keep getting elected, you have a significant problem. And that problem is everybody thinks that everybody is bullshit except their guy. So, what are you gonna do? Everyone is bullshit. Ah, morning, cool gamer. Or afternoon, I'm not sure. We're right at the noon point, but it's early enough. I don't really know if this is as valid as it used to be, where uh, the approbation of experts and famous men are anything to take too much to heart, because turns out like 98% of experts agree with whoever's paying them, and oh, the same goes for famous men. Look who's funding them, and you look where the source of their beliefs come from, or whatever they're espousing, if they're espousing things. Maybe just figure shit out for yourself and don't worry about what other people think about shit because what used to be a thing that people would just take as a matter of fact because, well, someone who knows more than me said it, like, that's a little more flexible today than it used to be. Just think for yourself. That's what this book is about. Ah, 102. Be able to stomach big slices of luck. Hmm, seems reasonable. In the body of wisdom, not the least important organ is a big stomach, for great capacity implies great parts. Big bits of luck do not embarrass one who can digest still bigger ones. What is a surfeit for one may be hunger for another. Many are troubled, as it were, with weak digestion, owing to their small capacity being neither born nor trained for great employment. Yeah, I mean, little capacity to do not much. Their actions turn sour, and the humors that arise from their undeserved honors turn their head, and they incur great risks in high place. They do not find their proper place, for luck finds no proper place in them. A man of talent, therefore, should show that he has more room for an even greater enterprises, and above all, avoid showing signs of a little heart. Hey, Mimsy. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Good afternoon. So what do we got to say about that? That's a you problem. That's really a you problem. Like if you can't if you are someone who can do much with a little bit, you have a good capacity to do a lot, then you're gonna keep acquiring more, keep going further, like but it's better to be lucky than good, so sometimes you just have to like maybe not let it go to your head and maybe just understand that you've been big lucky to be big blessed. Not everybody ends up in that spot. Not everybody's got the capacity to just get themselves in a spot where luck just seems to continuously happen over and over again because we all know how luck occurs. So when you're on a streak, just keep going. Just swallow luck whole. Because if you've been here for the first 6 parts of this, we're on 7 already? Wow. Then you know that luck is made. It's not an occurring thing, and people of many talents make a great amount of luck for themselves. Position yourself to strike when the iron is hot, so to speak, and be ready to just keep going for it. Whoa, this says 8, but I'm pretty sure we're still scrolling down, so it's 103. Somebody typoed that. Let each keep up his dignity. Let each deed of a man in its degree, though he be not a king, be worthy of a prince, and let his action be princely within due limits. Sublime in action, lofty in thought, in all things, like a king. at least in merit, if not in might. For true kingship lies in spotless rectitude, and he need not envy greatness who can serve as a model of it. Ah, man. How far we've fallen from many of these core principles as just like a group, and how few in humanity can actually aspire to such things as though you be just a regular ass dude, like you could be noble, discerning, reasonable, uh, fair, and impartial. That's not really a thing with people, I don't think. Good morning, Castro and Bijou. I see the Rumble crew is waking up. Shout out to the Rumble gang. Oh, we got the two gang on Xbird, 8 chilling on YouTube. What do we got over here? We got the 6 waking up over on the Rumble side for a little bit of Saturday morning. I don't know. It's a little Saturday morning silliness, but it's also a little bit of actual the thinking. So we don't end up with the dumb. Good morning, Lady Autumn Sky. Don't you though, Bijou? I am a fan of a Saturday silliness, but it's also like, even though I'm a little satirical with it sometimes, there is really a lot to think about here. Oh, look, it's almost that time. Cheers, y'all, even though we ain't quite there yet. I'm going to. Especially should those near the throne aim at true superiority and prefer to share the true qualities of royalty rather than take part in its mere ceremonies, yet without affecting its imperfections, but sharing in its true dignity. Show me one. Show me fucking one. Really. I mean, I'm talking about people who have real power, who carry themselves with real dignity. They are so few and so far between. And yes, I know, show me one is a hyperbolic statement, but when you look at the minority of decent people in the world that have true, I mean, that are near the actual source of the throne, like, I don't trust any of these people. They all strike me as terrible scumbags. There's a couple, but it's just mostly a barrel of rotten apples. But why should you, the average Joe who doesn't have, like, any political power or the ability to influence any real policy, why should you aspire to carry yourself in a noble manner and aspire to greatness? Because aspiration to greatness is the beginning of like achieving it is to desire to be. No, I mean, i- is there value in being a person of integrity, person of discernment? I got a bunch of people listening to me. They might just think I'm an insane person on the internet. They might just think I'm funny when I do a witticism, but I think people in general think I've got a fairly discerning mind. At least I attempt to sometime. Sometimes I can be unreasonable, but you can have influence over people if people trust that you're not bullshitting them. And that goes a long way. People want to do a lot to back you up and support you when you're out there trying to be a decent person. Not the best, but as best as we can. True dignity. 104. Oh dear goodness. Try your hand at office. Uh, I'm gonna just thumbs down this one. 0 out of 10 would not recommend, but I mean, I also see the how 103 and 104 combined each other together because where we don't have burns anymore, the offices that you can try your hand for absolutely have more power, so it requires varied qualities and to know which is needed taxes attention and calls for masterly discernment. Oh, there's that word again. Some demand courage, others tact. Ah, well, tact and courage kind of go hand in hand anyway. Those that merely require rectitude are the easiest. Yes, agreed. The most difficult, those requiring cleverness. For the former, is that for the former, all that is necessary is character. For the latter, all one's attention and zeal may not suffice. 'Tis a troublesome business to rule men, still more fools or blockheads. Well, this is why I give this a 0 out of 10 because I use my discernment and look around. I look around. I see a lot of fools and blockheads. It's kind of a problem. Double sense is needed with those who have none. And just do not got the patience for all of that. But kudos, many kudos to those who do. Shout out to you, real kings. And as much as I hate to say it, like, no, I'm not even gonna go there. That'll be a whole ass problem right now. It is intolerable when an office engrosses a man with fixed hours and a settled routine. Those are better that leave a man free to follow his own devices, combining variety with importance. For the change refreshes the mind. The most in repute are those that have least or most distant dependence on others. Well, I mean, but the most efficient are the one that can delegate to others to create a chain where everybody does the thing that they're best at the best and they come up with something that is the extra most bestest. But yeah, it does tend to stand that the most in repute are the ones who can do it all. The worst is that which worries us both here and hereafter. Yeah, well, obviously, it's a little completely inverse there on the concept. Mm, She may have sent it to me, and I may not have uploaded it just yet. I may have forgot. I was kind of busy when she sent it to me. That may be my fault. I have to go check my files first, see if it's in there. Don't let me forget after the show. D- don't don't recommend trying to try your hand at office, but if if that's for you, I mean, knock yourself out. I'm not your dad. Don't let me tell you what to do. Just don't have the dumb. That's all I'm gonna say. And have the dignity. Yeah, have the dignity of office and service. Seems reasonable. 105 is don't be a bore. Oh shit. Well, this should be easy. The man of one business or of one topic is apt to be heavy. Brevity flatters and does better business. It gains by courtesy what it loses by curtness. Good things, when short, are twice as good. The quintessence of the matter is more effective than a whole farrago of details. Farrago, that sounds a lot like a slur that I'm very fond of. Fajolies. It is a well-known truth that talkative folk rarely have much sense, whether in dealing with the matter itself or its formal treatment. So does Gracian mean, when I boil down all these wordy ass fucking uh rules that he wrote out into like a very blunt statement, that I'm doing the absolute thing right here, the not being a bore thing? Mhm. Oh yeah, that's a standard Rumble emojis. You gotta click on the Rumbly logo in your emoji thing. I did not know what they're doing over there in the comments section. There are that serve more for stumbling stones than centerpieces. Ouch. Useless lumber in everyone's way. The wise avoid being bores, especially to the great who are fully occupied. Yeah, they got shit to do. Just give them the short version, yo. Be brief. It is worse to disturb one of them than all the rest. Well said is soon said. Absolutely. You don't need 100 billion words to convey a simple ass idea. And if people are trying to bog you down in a bunch of fancy ass terms, you'll often find that it's just because they're bullshitting you and they want you to get lost in the minute details of all these fancy words. So they don't actually get to the heart of the matter. Just say what the thing is. And then move on. 106. Do not parade your position. Like, I can already attest that this is a really good idea. To outshine in dignity is more offensive than in personal attractions. To pose as a personage is to be hated. Envy is surely enough. The more you seek esteem, the less you obtain it, for it depends on the opinion of others. You cannot take it, but must earn it and receive it from others. Great positions require an amount of authority sufficient to make them efficient. Without it, they cannot be adequately filled. Preserve, therefore, enough dignity to carry on the duties of the office. Do not enforce respect, but try and create it. What a novel fucking concept that is. Usually by being fair and providing value and not trying to just force people to do what you say because fucking reasons. Imagine if you were just trying to do the right thing. How about that? Those who insist on the dignity of their office show they have not deserved it and that it is too much for them. And what should we do with those people? We should remove them immediately. This I decree. Like, let's get them out of there. Just do the job and do it to the best of your abilities and don't bullshit people. Like, how about that? If you wish to be valued for your talents, not for anything adventitious. Even kings preferred to be honored for their personal qualifications rather than for their station. Well, that doesn't seem to be as much the case anymore these days, does it? Now it's just, I'm the science, trust the science, and such familiar phrasings. And everybody else is evil, that's why I'm good. Uh-huh. But why? Uh, yeah, exactly. 107 is show no self satisfaction. Huh. Nobody likes a braggart. Eh, nobody likes anyone who's too damn proud of themselves. I mean, you can be proud of yourself, just be proud of yourself to your damn self. You must neither be discontented with yourself, and that were poor spirited, nor self satisfied, and that is folly. Self satisfaction arises mostly from ignorance. Imagine that. It would be a happy ignorance, not without its advantages, if it did not injure our credit. I'd say it more impeaches our credibility, but semantics. Semantics. Because a man cannot achieve the superlative perfections of others, he contents himself with any mediocre talent of his own. Distrust is wise and even useful, either to evade mishaps or to afford consolation when they come, for a misfortune cannot surprise a man who has already feared it. Even Homer nods at times, and Alexander fell from his lofty state and out of his illusions. Things depend on many circumstances. What constitutes triumph in one set may cause a defeat in another. Yep, and you're never going to face the same two sets of circumstances ever, because no set of circumstances is the same as another. There may be echoes, but nothing is the same. Players may be different, the setting may be different, your available resources will be different, and everything's going to be different. Usually, but in the midst of all incorrigible folly remains the same with empty self satisfaction, blossoming, flowering, and running to all to seed. So a little modesty goes a long way is an incredible breakdown, but I mean, no matter how proud of yourself you are, like, there's probably someone who does whatever it is you're super proud of yourself for way fucking better than you do and will absolutely put you to shame any damn way. So, best to just remember that. And you can't do anything yourself. That is another thing you ought remember. I mean, you could do a few things, but to uh, attain any great station, you are going to need a lot of support. And the greater the station, the more support you're going to need. History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Mark Twain. Yes, absolutely, indeed. Indubitably. And that is why, like, and even if you are the like best in the world at what you do right now, like, you, the ability to to maintain that station is not the folly to think so. Sometimes you just gotta know when to like humble yourself and go do something else. 108. The path to greatness is along with others. See, that's what I just said. I didn't even know they were going to say this. Intercourse works well. Manners and taste are shared. Good sense and even talent grow insensibly. Let the sanguine man then make a comrade of the lymphatic, and so with the other temperaments, so that without any forcing the golden mean is obtained. It is a great art to agree with others. The alternation of contraries beautifies and sustains the world. If it can cause harmony in the physical world, still more can it do so in the moral. Adopt this policy in the choice of friends and defendants. By joining extremes, the more effective middle way is found. Well, okay. Some of these are a little bit much. You definitely do, like was just saying, need to, if you're going to attain any great station amongst your fellow man, you're going to have to attain a great deal of support from the people around you. So you are going to have to make deals, you're going to have to agree, you're going to have to do these things, but I like this concept here of joining extremes to find the more effective middle way because if you're negotiating, and this is a little pro tip here, if you're entering into a negotiation, you always need to start with asking for absolutely everything. You want it all because if you're going to reach anything that is close to what is truly fair, y- both parties need to start at demanding 100%. If you come in trying to bargain for what's fair and they come in asking for 100% of everything, you're going to end up with like 25% of the deal, which is like half of what you should have got. Don't be that guy. Never be that guy. Always be the extreme. That works with some things. Don't be super extreme in other things, but definitely be reasonable and be willing to negotiate, but always start with everything. It's a pro tip. 109. Be not censorious. Oh my goodness. There are men of gloomy character who regard everything as faulty. I mean, I may or may not be guilty of this. Not from any evil motive, but because it is their nature to. They condemn all. These for what they have done, those for what they will do. This indicates a nature worse than cruel. Vile indeed. They accuse with such exaggeration that they make out motes, beams, wherewith to force out the eyes. Not cool. They are always taskmasters who could turn a paradise into a prison. We call these people the communists, the collectivists, the people who want to just ruin everything that's good for whatever's sake to make everybody equal with the lowest among us. A noble nature, on the contrary, oh, wait, no. If passion intervenes, they drive matters to the extreme. Yeah, that's literally how these people operate. People who want to force their shit on you. A noble nature, on the contrary, always knows how to find an excuse for failings, if not in the intention, at least from oversight. Well, I mean, that's a little bit that's a little bit not a great idea always. I mean, you gotta be willing to forgive, but don't find an excuse for all failings because people need to be held accountable and shit, especially when they're fucking everything up. But at least understand why. Are they evil or are they just stupid? Or did they just make a mistake? Discernment is everything. Don't have the dumb. 110. Do not wait till you are a sinking sun. Oh, imagine this. 'Tis a maxim of the wise to leave things before things leave them. One should be able to snatch a triumph at the end, just as the sun, even at its brightest, often retires behind a cloud so as not to be seen sinking, and to leave in doubt whether he has sunk or no. Wisely withdraw from the chance of mishaps, lest you have to do so from the reality. Ooh, interesting concept there. Because sometimes, like, it's starting to go sideways, it is good to just get out of the way before it actually goes sideways. Like a strategic retreat in many matters is often prudent, and sometimes knowing when to make that strategic retreat, the hardest part of all, is the thing that's the difference maker between like abject failure and dodging a bullet on that one. Do not wait till they turn you the cold shoulder and carry you to the grave, alive in feeling but dead in esteem. Wise trainers put racers to grass before they arouse derision by falling on the course. Believe this is horses, and they retire horses before they go ahead and yeah crap out. Good, it's a good call. A beauty should break her mirror early, lest she do so latter with open eyes. So what this is saying is like do shit in the moment where shit is ripe to be done. Do not wait till you're in a poor spot to take action. Like take action while you still can, because when you back yourself into a corner and your sun is set, it will be too late. it will be too late. Like, know when to engage, know when to hang it up, and know which position you're actually in so that you don't do the wrong thing. It's a good idea. People could learn a lot from that. 111 is have friends. Oh, well, shit. What about team no friends? Like, how about have enemies and learn how to use them? 'Tis a second existence. Every friend is good and wise for his friend. Among them all, everything turns out good. Aw, you hear that, friends? We're gonna have everything turn out the good because we're here amongst friends. Everyone is as others wish him. Bullshit! That they may wish him well. Aw, that's adorable. He must win their hearts and sow their tongues. There is no magic like a good turn. And the way to gain friendly feelings is to do friendly acts. No, no fucking shit, Sherlock. I have all the friends. Like, I have like 200 friends on the YouTube, and I have like a billion friends on Rumble because Rumble is super much more the friendly place. I have more friends than I ever knew I could have. But imagine that the way to gain friendly feelings is to do friendly acts. So, like, if I were to, like, walk up and, uh, I mean, I've had this microphone for since like December or before that. I can't remember exactly when I got it, but I think it was like a little bit before Christmas when I happened to find it, find a good deal on it. So, no. StreamYard's got new audio setting that I've started playing with. That I just started that today. I don't know if anyone else notices a difference between Wednesday and today if you happen to be here, but hey, Mommy Spice, good to see you. The most and best of us depend on others. We have to live we have to live either among friends or among enemies. I mean, we usually have to live amongst a split of both. Don't let them fool you. Like, you're gonna have your friends. You're gonna have your enemies. You want to keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. That's a saying. Probably Sun Tzu. Ah. Seek someone every day to be a well wisher, if not a friend. Ah, by and by, after trial, some of these will become intimate. Yeah, just like don't be a dickhole to people. Be kind to people. Be friendly, and you'll be surprised how good you are received. You can even, if you are smoothly operator talented, be kind of a shit weasel and still be very endearing to people. It's a magical talent, and it takes some time to master it unless you have a general nature of shitbaggery, but a good heart. Like, but you can pull it off. You can be friendly and an asshole. I promise you, it's possible. But yeah, people will be friendly with you and ooh, intimate. Yeah, giggity. I mean, I've got people who can attest to the fact that, like, being friendly is a way to make friends. Like, look at all my friends. I got 2 friends on Xbird. I've got 7 friends on YouTube, and I've got 19 motherfucking friends on Rumble because Rumble is the friend space. It's not the friend zone, though. Although it might be the friend zone. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that one. 112. Gain goodwill. I mean, because gaining bad will is like, yeah, that's or gaining garnering ill will, I guess. For thus the first and highest cause foresees and furthers the greatest objects. Yes. By gaining their goodwill, you gain men's good opinion. Duh. Some trust so much to merit that they neglect grace. But wise men know that service road without a lift from favor is a long way indeed. Yeah, I mean, you definitely, if you want to get anywhere, you need people backing you, and the further you're trying to go is you get more people you're gonna need to back you. Like this is a common theme here. You need a lift from favor, and goodwill facilitates and supplies everything. It supposes gifts or even supplies them as courage, zeal, knowledge, or even discretion. There's that word again. Whereas defects it will not see because it does not search for them. Goodwill doesn't search for reasons to have ill will. It arises from some common interest, either material, as disposition, nationality, relationship, fatherland, office, or formal, which is a higher kind of communion in capacity, obligation, reputation, or merit. Ooh. So, like, where you come from, what you do, and who you actually are, like, what are your values? Two different standards, the material and the formal. The whole difficulty is to gain goodwill. To keep it is easy. It has, however, to be sought for and when found, to be utilized. But make sure you do maintain keeping it because if you get people's goodwill and you don't have goodwill towards them, when you lose it, like you don't regain it. Like it really doesn't. That's not a thing. Some people are forgiving, but most are not. Ah, what is this? 113 now? Oh my goodness. In prosperity, prepare for adversity. Okay. It is both wiser and easier to collect winter stores in summer. Yes. In prosperity, favors are cheap and friends are many. 'Tis well therefore to keep them for more unlucky days, for adversity costs dear and has no helpers. Retain a store of friendly and obliged persons, the day may come when their price will go up. Low minds never have friends. Ah, shout out to the stupid people with no friends that nobody likes. I can think of a few. In luck, they will not recognize them. In misfortune, they will not be recognized by them. Yeah, I mean that's how you do it. You like when everything is good, definitely make sure you get your like you give freely to get later when you may need it worse. Like when you got it, definitely position yourself to bank some favors if you can, because you might, and yeah, the cost may be a lot steeper later on down the line. But if you build the goodwill, oh my goodness, we've got a whole. I don't know what's going on. Sup, Shane? Got some chaos going on in the house today. You know you love to see it. Yep, who would have thought you had to be friendly to bake friends? Who would have thought having a bunch of friends would be a good idea? Oh my goodness. 114 is never compete. I I'm gonna call bullshit on its superficial premise alone. Never compete. That is antithetical. Every competition damages the credit. I mean, our rivals seize occasion to obscure us so as to outshine us. Few wage honorable war. That's fucking true. Rivalry discloses faults which courtesy would hide. Many have lived in good repute while they had no rivals. Well, it's easy to be in great standing when you don't have to do anything too drastic to maintain your position. The heat of conflict gives life, or even new life, to dead scandals and digs up long buried skeletons. I mean, this is especially true when you're dealing with the group of people that carry around the plungers. Bitches love bringing up old shit. Ugh. Competition begins with belittling. I don't think so. And seeks aid wherever it can, not only where it ought. Like, I think this is a misunderstanding and interpretation of competition as we see it today. And when the weapons of abuse do not effect their purpose, as often or mostly happens, our opponents use them for revenge and use them at least for beating away the dust of oblivion from anything to our discredit. Men of goodwill are always at peace. Men of good repute and dignity are men of goodwill. That is an interesting concept there, Lady Autumn Sky. Uh, I don't know anything about Seinfeld. I think I might have seen a small handful of clips from that show in my lifetime, so I got no idea what she's talking about, but as long as it made you giggle, I'm with it. I guess the understanding of what is competition is don't don't be a scumbag. Like, I mean, like, don't try to build your web by destroying someone else's, or build whatever you have by tearing someone else down. I mean, don't engage in douchebaggeries. It's a good idea, but that's not what I consider competition. This is kind of ridiculous. Don't be an asshole. Uh, but you can compete. A lot of good is born of actual competition. Just stay in your lane and worry about what you're doing and be a credit to yourself and compete in that manner. Because you might do some damage to whoever you're trying to discredit, but you will also discredit yourself in the same turn. 115. Get used to the failings of your familiars as you do to ugly faces. It is indispensable if they depend on us or we on them. Yeah, people are gonna fuck up. You can't get mad when people fuck up. You gotta get used to it. There are wretched characters with whom one cannot live, nor yet without them. That's why that saying, can't live with them, can't live without them, is a thing. Therefore, clever folk get used to them. As to ugly faces, so that they are not obliged to do so suddenly under the pressure of necessity. Ooh, well, I don't want to get used to the ugly faces around me right now. Just saying. I mean, not around me right now, but like the ugly the people that I have to deal with and put up with are not people that I want to get used to. Not at all. At first, they arouse. My bad, I can't word. But gradually, they lose this influence, and reflection provides for disgust or puts up with it. I don't think putting up with it is, that's probably not the way to go. But if you got people around you that you have to deal with, they're gonna fuck up, and you definitely want to get used to that. Shout out to the expert. I haven't seen that guy around in a million billion years, but words are hard. This is well known. And there's a lot of words that, like, even if I say them, they're not words that I read very often. But yeah, you don't need to get used to this shit. That's bullshit. Yeah, you can't do anything about it, so you might as well get used to it because it could always get worse. And there are people you have to put up with in the world that some of them you may see on a regular basis. Best to just deal with them in the moment and move on. What is this, 116? Only act with honorable men. You can trust them and they you. If you're an honorable person yourself, their honor is the best surety of their behavior, even in misunderstandings, for they always act having regard to what they are. Hence, 'tis better to have a dispute with with honorable people than to have a victory over dishonorable ones. You cannot treat with the ruined, for they have no hostages for rectitude. With them there is no true friendship, and their agreements are not binding. Yeah, you can't trust liars. You can't trust scumbags, criminal shit biscuits. And yet, they seem to be running most of the world. Never have to do with such men, for if honor does not restrain a man, virtue will not, since honor is the throne of rectitude. My, oh my, how far we have fallen as a civilization from anything that would fall into, like, I wonder if Balthasar could see just, like, the state of the world and all its glory today, like, just see the corruption for yourself and understand it for what it is today. But it's only corrupt because my virtue, values, and honor are absolutely not aligned with the current enterprise. I'm sure some of them think they're doing good. I'm sure some of them are late, very late. A very late small mouse. Criminal shit biscuits indeed. I mean, it's cyclical. We will go round and round in circles. Things rise and fall all the time. But everything is as it should be. Everything is supposed to be the way it is. Believe it or not, you get what you pay for. Ooh, wow. Wow, look at this one, 117. One that I struggle with in my own right. Never talk of yourself. You must neither praise yourself. This says either, but it's supposed to say neither. You must neither praise yourself, which is vain, or blame yourself, which is little minded. It ill beseems him that speaks, and ill pleases him that hears. Nobody fucking cares. Imagine. It's fine. I mean, I have ways of phraseologying things that other people don't say shit like that. Why do you make up words? Fuck it, because why not? Make up phrases as well. And if you should avoid this in ordinary conversation, how much more in official matters, and above all, in public speaking, where every appearance of unwisdom really is unwise? I have walked right into this one. A little too certain of myself, I am. Quite often. Most of the time. Okay, fairly always. Like, but understanding that what you know is a microcosm in the realm of what you don't know, and that's a microcosm in the realm of what you don't know is quite humbling, and this is why we pursue the art of worldly wisdom. It's because I'm stupid, okay, guys? That's the big secret. DarthHideous is retard. The same want of tact lies in speaking of a man in his presence, owing to the danger of going to one of two extremes, flattery or censure. Censure, rebuke, criticism. Best to only talk about people behind their back and never talk about yourself. Nobody fucking cares how awesome you are or how shit you are. Like, good for fucking you. I hate to tell you this, y'all, but that's just kind of how it is. Your friends might care, but most people will not. That's how people do. 118. Acquire the reputation of courtesy. Well, shit, this day is not going super well for me, for it is enough to make you liked. Politeness is the main ingredient of culture, a kind of witchery that wins the regard of all as surely as discourtesy gains their disfavor and opposition. Go fuck yourself. Not you guys, but other people. I'm just kidding. Don't go fuck yourself. I'm gonna be polite. If this latter sprang from pride, it is abominable. If from bad breeding, it is despicable. Better too much courtesy than too little. Yeah, you're right. Provided it be not the same for all, which degenerates into injustice. That is called equality under the law. We don't just treat people more favorably than we treat other people. It's an be discourteous to those that are your betters, and or be courteous to those that are your betters and discourteous to those that are your lessers is an abomination. Between opponents, it is especially due as a proof of valor. It costs little and helps much. Everyone is honored who gives honor. Politeness and honor have this advantage, that they remain with him who displays them to others. That's the golden rule. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Jesus said that. Works out a lot better for you in the end. Like, as somebody who is kind of an asshole and very judgmental, very short tempered, like working on all this shit, but still know that this is issues that I struggle with on a regular basis. Like, I know that even if you have the best intentions, you can be taken very wrong. So, uh, being courteous and polite is not something I'm actually good at all. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I find that people who are courteous and polite do a lot better with other people than people who are not. It's called common sense, stupid. Learns it. Learn yourself some. If you know, you know. Shout out to the people who know. 119. Avoid becoming disliked? You don't say. You don't fucking say. There is no occasion to seek dislike. Uh, I mean, uh, this is not going well for me at all. It comes without seeking quickly enough. There are many who hate of their own accord without knowing the why or the how. Their ill will outruns our readiness to please. Well, I have like a zero readiness to please factor. Their ill nature is more prone to do others harm than their cupidity is eager to gain advantage for themselves. I thought this was supposed to say stupidity, but it's cupidity. Some manage to be on bad terms with all. They're called assholes because they always either produce or experience vexation of spirit. I would know I am one. It does seem kind of like a no-brainer, doesn't it, to like not like go out of your way to make people hate you. Uh, to pick fights for legitimately no reason. It's almost like I could learn a lesson here. Once hate has taken root, it is, like bad repute, difficult to eradicate. Wise men are feared, the malevolent are abhorred, the arrogant are regarded with disdain, buffoons with contempt, eccentrics with neglect. Therefore, pay respect that you may be respected, and know that to be esteemed, you must show esteem. Oh, man. Well, everybody's shit. Like, it's hard to show esteem for anything when everybody fucking sucks. It's not my fault. Nah, I'm just kidding. Not everybody sucks, but there's like a significant amount of suckage going on. Good grief. Give me a break. What time is it, y'all? I feel like it's about that time. Me too. We all have to learn the hard way. Well, I mean, we do and we don't. But to think, like, just because we're kind and polite to everybody that we're going to end up getting that in return, that's about as naive as it gets. Because there's people out there that are just shitbags, and we kind of live in a culture now where, like, honor, integrity, being of good repute, these things they're not as valued as they used to be. You can see it in the degradation of, like, civilization as we know it. That people just don't value, like, community or anything really but themselves anymore. Like, in large part, I mean, in microcosms, like, everything is not all that way, but when you look when you zoom out, like, it really is kinda problematic the way, Yep, yep, and at the same time, the best intentions can be taken the wrong way, and or the best intentions can lead to absolutely horrible, horrific outcomes for people. It's almost, even being courteous and polite can be taken very wrong. I mean, depends on people's intent. Yep. Not just the person being courteous and polite, but the person who has to receive that courtesy or that politeness. Like, some people just don't have it. Some people have it in varying degrees, and it is what it is. Cheers, y'all. You know what time it is. Oh, yeah. That's the one. Yep. We don't all have to learn the hard way, but a lot of people do have to learn the hard way. That's the problem. That's a whole problem for them. I'm one of them. 120. Live practically. Oh my goodness. What a concept here. Even knowledge has to be in the fashion, and where it is not wise to affect ignorance. Hold on, let me read that again. And where it is not, it is wise to affect ignorance. Oh wow, I read that wrong the first time. So, thought and taste change with the times. Do not be old fashioned in your ways of thinking, and let your taste be in the modern style. I don't this particular part of the book is not going well for me, guys. Y'all want to get with the times and support current thing? Who supports current thing in this room? I don't support current thing at all. In everything, the taste of the many carries the votes. I support being counterculturally current thing. I stand with the silent majority who won't speak up against the dummies. For the time being, one must follow it in the hope of leading it to higher things. Okay, well, oh, how do I do that? Well, the current thing in his time was way different. Well, this actually is is a thing, and being knowing being a part of current thing is like getting inside it is the way to affect change, to elevate it to better things. Like you have to be amongst the people supporting current thing and know what current thing is to affect change on current thing. You can't just be uh I would as soon make it the Democrat thing because the Democrats are the current thing. My man, the infamous infiltrator Fetterman is doing. Oh, long time no sees. Goods to see ya. Yeah, I mean, I start at noon, uh, every Saturday now, since we's fully back now to the real world. But this is an interesting concept here. I might have to try to infiltrate current thing and understand it enough to, like, turn it in a manner that effectively, but I mean, I can't make anything a thing. Uh, in the adornment of the body as of the mind, adapt yourself to the present, even though the past appear better. Oh my, does it ever. But this rule does not apply to kindness, for goodness is for all time. It is neglected nowadays and seems out of date. Truth speaking, keeping your word, and so two good people seem to come from the good old times. Y'all, this was written in 1647 or 5 or something like that. It's the mid 1640s, yo. It is 2024 and this is still accurate today. Sup, Xander? I don't know if I said hi to you. I'm kind of in and out of paying attention to chat. Sometimes I miss things. Yet they are liked for all that, but in such a way that even when they all exist, they are not in the fashion and are not imitated. Eh, living it right now. What a misfortune for our age that it regards virtue as a stranger and vice as a matter of course. What a shame indeed. What a misfreaking fortune. What a misfortune that things never change. If you are wise, live as you can. If you cannot, live as you would. Think more highly of what fate has given you than of what it has denied. And I think, like, a lot of people myself included, could benefit from, like, trying to make the best of things as they are instead of, like, lamenting how far we've fallen. Which is why I'm working on these kind of things, because my discernment's not perfect, and though I think there's a better way, I also know that I don't have ultimate control, so kinda have to deal with what is and not what I wish it to be, because I live in reality and they know me here. Sup, liquor, adequate alcohol on the Rumble side of things. Good to see you, my homie. We should bookmark this one. What number was this? 120. It's always the like on the tens. If you're wise, live as you can. If you cannot, live as you would. Yeah, that's because you can't really just change the world to what you wish it to be. Like, no matter how hard we vote, the world is going to keep generally being the world. But I mean, you could just sit and shit post all day on Twitter. Oh fuck! This literally is not going well for me today. But maybe I need to go ahead and come back to this one myself later one and really meditate on this concept, because I think some of us do get in too deep into what we want things to be, that we do all lose touch to what the actual reality is on the ground. And I saw a very interesting podcast, uh and I recommend it to everybody. Just saw it yesterday, or think I was finishing it this morning because I fell asleep watching it. But Patrick Bet David had Chris Cuomo of former CNN and Candace Owens of, like, media sphere of the internet fame. And I don't know, I think she's with the Daily Wire. I can't remember. I don't care. I don't follow either of these people, because I generally think that they've got a nature to gaslight. But they sat down and had a, like, fairly civilized conversation, and it showed that even people who represent, like, the most extreme of gaslighting can actually just sit down and have a legit unscripted I mean, the narrative's gonna be whatever the narrative is, but it was reasonable. It was actually mostly reasonable, mostly civilized. It went a lot more controlled and diplomatic, and I think mostly sincere than I would have ever expected it to go. So, like, if you have any interest, like, you should check that out. PBD podcast. Chris Cuomo and Candace Owens, like, wild show, absolutely nuts. Ah, 121. Do not make a business of what is no business. Oh my, how many people do this? As some make gossip out of everything, so others business. They always talk big, take everything in earnest, and turn it into a dispute or a secret. Troublesome things must not be taken too seriously if they can be avoided. It is preposterous to take to heart that which you should throw over your shoulders. Much that would be something has become nothing by being left alone. Okay, so I know where we're going with this. Don't sweat the petty shit. And what was nothing has become of consequence by being made much of. I'm almost certain this particular quote appeared in the 48 Laws. At the outset, things can be easily settled, but not afterwards. Often the remedy causes the disease. 'Tis by no means the least of life's rules to leave shit alone. And I've been guilty of this myself, like taking shit wrong, blowing shit out of proportion, giving a fuck about things that's like, okay, well, why did you even give a fuck about that? It wasn't even important until you made it important. And that's a you problem. So take shit with a grain of salt because you can't make much ado out of nothing. It is ridiculous to do so. Try not giving a fuck. It's hard. And you're, because you have feelings and you're a human, you're going to give a fuck. But at least learn what's like worth giving a fuck about and things that are not worth giving a fuck about. Even if you want to give a fuck about them, just don't give a fuck about them. And you will live a much happier, much more fulfilled life. Jesus, Cat done got the link for the episode of the podcast that I was referring to because Cat's an awesome mod person, bang bang. Posted it on the YouTube and the Rumble. Yeah, go check that out. That's an interesting conversation about media personalities who are both pretty, well, at least presented pretty extreme. And they talked about the network and like the different, like, just there was a conversation that went a lot of different routes and worth watching. Like, now I'm gonna lose all my viewers. Everyone's gonna go watch that, but you should have gone and watched that afterwards. You should smash the like button though if you're gonna take off to go watch that before you leave. Let the algorithm know you still approve of this, even though DarthHideous has recommended something better to do. Uh, okay, so 121 was leave shit alone. Like, shit that don't matter, just let it truly slide, and you'll be better off. Don't make something out of nothing. 122. Distinction in speech and action. By this you gain a position in many places and carry esteem beforehand. It shows itself in everything, in talk and look, even in gait. It is a great victory to conquer men's hearts. It does not arise from any foolish presumption or pompous talk, but in a becoming tone of authority born of superior talent combined with true merit. It's called Be Fucking Awesome. How about that? Yeah, just distinguish yourself by being fucking awesome. You don't need to tell anybody you're awesome. You don't need to tell anybody how much better than anyone you are. Just go be awesome. Go be the most awesome you can be, and awesomeness will ensue because awesomeness begets awesomeness or excellence. I mean, whatever fucking word you want to use, I don't care. Do you, and do you to the most you can. That's fairly straightforward. 123. Avoid affectation? This sounds like avoid dislike, which is literally, we've already talked about this once today. Let's find out. The more merit, the less affectation, which gives a vulgar flavor to all. It is wearisome to others and troublesome to the one affected, for he becomes a martyr to care and tortures himself with attention. The most eminent merit loses most by it, for they appear proud and artificial instead of being the proud. And the natural is always more pleasing than the artificial. One always feels sure that the man who affects a virtue has it not. The more pains you take with a thing, the more should you conceal them, so that it may appear to arise spontaneously from your own natural character. Do not, however, in avoiding affectation, fall into it by affecting to be unaffected. The sage never seems to know his own merits, for only by not noticing them can you call others' attention to them. What the fuck did you just say? No. Uh, he is twice great who has all the perfections in the opinion of all except of himself. He attains applause by two opposite paths. So don't be a big fat virtue signaling faker. Don't be a damn pretender. And don't be out like don't be out doing all the virtue signaling in the world, I guess. I mean, don't toot your own damn horn and let others toot it for you. Just keep your nonsense to yourself. I don't know, this one's kind of tough. I'm a little confused. Ah, this seems like a statistical impossibility to be having all the perfections in the opinion of everyone but yourself. That's almost not how it works, I don't think. 124. Get yourself missed. Few reach such favor with the many, if with the wise 'tis the height of happiness. When one has finished one's work, coldness is the general rule. But there are ways of earning this reward of goodwill. The sure way is to excel in your office and talents. Add to this agreeable manner, and you reach the point where you become necessary to your office, not your office to you. Some do honor to their post, with others 'tis the other way. Shout out to the people who do honor to the post. I got a few of them around here that do honor to their posts. Mimsy doesn't have a post here in my group, but I've seen Mimsy have a post over with T3 and does honor to it. My My internet friends with wrenches. It is no great gain if a poor successor makes the predecessor seem good. Shout out to Joe Biden. For this does not imply that the one is missed, but that the other is wished away. Yes, I'm wishing him away. This is me implying the wishing away and I'm missing the halcyon days of the evil, mean tweeting orange man. Not that they were perfect, but we were heading in a better direction. However, not the reality we live in today. What was the whole fucking point of this? Oh yeah, be missed. Like, do something so impactful that when you stop doing it, people notice that you're gone. I work with this really awesome chick. Uh, that is the quintessential work pusher, and is always trying to get everyone to just go a little fucking further and harder. And that is what the world needs is people who is just willing to lead by example of doing such a damn good job and having such an agreeable, fine nature that they are missed when they are not around. Don't be somebody that when you're not around, people are glad you are not around. Don't be somebody that when you're around, people want to get rid of. It's not going to be conducive to dealing with the people you have to be around. Ah, 125. Do not be a blacklist. This almost sounds like we're going to say the exact same thing again. It is a sign of having a tarnished name to concern oneself with the ill fame of others. Oh, yeah, don't be that guy. Some wish to hide their own stains with those of others, or at least wash them away. The what about him isms, the yeah, but what about this guy? He did so much worse. Uh, or at least wash them away or seek consolation therein. 'Tis the consolation of fools. They must have bad breath who forms the sewers of scandal for the whole town. The more one grubs about in such matters, the more one befouls oneself. Yeah, nobody likes to gossip. There are few without stain somewhere or other, but it is of little known people that the failings are little known. Be careful then to avoid being a registrar of faults. That is to be an abominable thing, a man that lives without a heart. So don't delight in the ill fates and ill fortunes of others. It's kind of a shitty thing to do. Just saying. 126. Folly consists not in committing folly, but in not hiding it when committed. You gotta cover that shit up, yo. You don't want people to know. You should keep your desires sealed up. Still more, your defects. All go wrong sometimes, but the wise try to hide the errors, but fools boast of them. Oh shit, well, I guess that makes me a fool. But I do tend to like to use my failures as a teachable moment, so reputation depends more on what is hidden than on what is done. If a man does not live chastely, he must live cautiously. The errors of great men are like the eclipses of the greater lights. Even in friendship, it is rare to expose one's failings to one's friend. Nay, one should conceal them from oneself if one can. But here one can help with that other great rule in of life: learn to forget. Yeah, I guess that's not. I guess that's a mistake. I guess better to say nothing than and let people think you a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. That's one way to go of it. But we are all fools in our own right and regard. And yes, I do know the rest. That's a very famous saying. I'm too much of a fool to keep it, but I would rather someone be real with me. I mean, if you fucked up, you fucked up. Like, I wouldn't boast of it, like, but it happens. Everybody fucks up. Like, I guess maybe this is more in like the less you need to conceal the less savory parts of you, like the parts that are less courteous and uh less apt to be agreeable when dealing with people. That could be a thing because Lord knows I've had plenty of issues arise from picking fights with people about shit. So it's quite possible that could be what we are needing to conceal here. Not so much our failures, but our failings, our shortcomings, our defects, our flaws, like especially things that would deem us in ill repute. Like if I think perhaps that certain Canadians are complete fucking retards and have no idea what they're talking about, I might be better suited to keep that to myself. If you know, you know. Shout outs to the Canadians. Not all Canadians are retarded, but some are. Just like not all Americans are retarded, but some are. It's a whole problem. 127, grace in everything. Oh my goodness. 'Tis the life of talents, the breath of speech, the soul of action, and the ornament of ornament. Perfections are the adornment of our nature, but this is the adornment of perfection itself. It shows itself even in the thought. 'Tis most a gift of nature and owes least to education. It even triumphs over training. It is more than ease, approaches the free and easy, gets over embarrassment, and adds the finishing touch to perfection. Without it, beauty is lifeless, graciousness ungraceful, it surpasses valor, discretion, prudence, and even majesty itself. 'Tis a short way to dispatch and an easy escape from embarrassment. But how many of us truly have divine grace? I know one, and that's the Jesus. But it is the aspiration of all aspirations to have that type of grace. Humanity's kind of a huge obstruction to that because we're all creatures of emotion. But to surpass valor, discretion, prudence, and even majesty, a worthy aspiration indeed. And we should all strive for it, even though we're all going to fail miserably. That's why we need grace, because we are not grace in all things. 128, high mindedness. One of the principal qualifications for a gentleman, for it spurs on to all kinds of nobility. I mean, aspirational ability, and it improves the taste, ennobles the heart, elevates the mind, refines the feelings, and intensifies dignity. It raises him in whom it is found, and at times remedies the bad turns of fortune, which only raises by striking. It can find full scope in the will when it cannot be exercised in act. Magnanimity, generosity, and all heroic qualities recognized in it their source. Wow. I mean, but it's not really your inner your inner dialogue is yeah, it's the nature of your heart. And uh as much as I would like to be graceful, I am or gracious, I am far away of such things, far short of such things. Ah, but what is high-mindedness? Like I mean, it's a very vague description here. High-minded, noble, pursuing, high aspiring. Like all I can think is this is an add-on to the last thing, and so many things. Just do better, do better, try to be better, aspire to all the better things, be of noble repute. 129, oh my goodness. Never complain. To complain always brings discredit. Always. Be a better model of self reliance, opposed to the passion of others, than an object of their compassion. For it opens the way for the hearer to what we are complaining of, and to disclose one insult forms an excuse for another. By complaining of past offenses, we give occasion for future ones. And in seeking aid or counsel, we only obtain indifference or contempt. Hmm. It is much more politic to praise one man's favors so that others may feel obliged to follow suit. To recount the favors we owe the absent is to demand similar ones from the present, and thus we sell our credit with the one to the other. The shrewd will therefore never publish to the world his failures or his defects, but only those marks of consideration which serve to keep friendship alive and enmity silent. This can be summed up: don't be a knut. And yeah, don't be that. Don't do that thing. Super fucking easy. I mean, not easy. Like sometimes people just are who they are, but like sometimes and on the regular, that's two different things. Oh, Jesus Christ! Why are people yelling? 1:30. Do and be seen doing. Things do not pass for what they are, but for what they seem. To be of use and to know how to show yourself of use is to be twice as useful to yourself. What is not seen is as if it was not. Even the right does not receive proper consideration if it does not seem right. The observant are far fewer in number than those who are deceived by appearances. These are facts. Deceit rules the roast. I mean, does that mean roost? And things are judged by their jackets, like books by their covers, and many things are other than they seem. But we don't often find out what they are because we do judge them as they appear to be. A good exterior is the best recommendation of the inner perfection. And if you have the inner perfection, you will appear that way outwardly. But if you're a shitbag, uh, you better do what you can to hide all of the shitbaggery. Because if you appear to be a shitbag, we're gonna know. Ah, but anyway, that's 30 more down, y'all, and we're at the 2 hour mark. I kind of was considering I wanted to do a little longer, but it seems like my world is erupting into complete chaos, and that's not conducive for keeping my focus on doing this damn show. So, since we made it the 2 hours as we normally do, and since we've gotten through 30 more of these things, I think we can just go ahead and call it a day. I can release you all out into the world to go have a wonderful, fulfilling weekend where none of you get the dumb and be doing anything imprudent or non discerning. Uh, use your best judgments, y'all. Have wonderful weekends. I'll see you back here Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, the only appropriate time zone. Yes, don't engage in any shitbaggery, please. It was fun, y'all. Like it was a good conversation. It was not a good day for me in like actually abiding by any of this worldly wisdom. I fail so miserably on so many of these things, but it was a good crowd. Some faces that we have not seen in quite some time, and the normal group. Like, I hope everyone enjoyed it. And yeah, Monday, 8 p.m. We'll come back for part 8, and we'll see how far we can get. Assuming that I'm still alive and you're all still around and we still have the internet, we haven't had a giant solar flare or cyber attack to take all the platforms down, because we have had outages over the last like week or two now. It's kind of concerning on whether or not I'm going to be able to keep talking to you guys about this. But if we can, we'll be back here Monday at 8. If y'all are of a spiritual nature or you're wondering about spiritual nature, on Sunday I'll be doing a dual stream with a wonderful group of folks, the frog people, Cool Frog and his lady. This Swabob fella, Digger 420 usually joins us, and we're talking about the Book of Matthew right now, and having impassioned debates, having philosophical exchanges, uh, opening our hearts to the words of the Lord, and sharing what they mean to us. So join us Sunday at 9:30 p.m. in the Eastern Time for the Exploring Spiritualities on my channel on Rumble only. So if you're not subscribed to my Rumble or don't follow my Rumble and you're interested in that, uh, definitely a reason to do so, or Cool Frogs Rumble. But it's not on any YouTubes, or it's not on the Xbird platform. It's only exclusively on Rumble Sunday night, when we observe our day of rest and fellowship, our Sabbath moment, if you will. But until next time, y'all, see you in the wastelands. Be safe out there. Seatbelts and sidearms. It is not going to get any calmer anytime soon. Stay strapped or get clapped, y'all. Have a great weekend. DarthHideous